I really feel like the questions that we ask ourselves can shape our reality. And what I found out for myself is there's basically two kind of questions that we can ask ourselves. And they're why questions and what questions. Now, I'm not saying don't ever ask yourself a why question. Obviously, we need to know why, some things are the way that they are. But what I can tell you is that I would say most of the time, this is not a hard and fast rule, but most of the time, when you ask yourself a why question, it leads to another why question, and to another why question. It leads down the yellow brick road to the Wizard of Oz. And then you realize you always had it all along anyways. So why questions, they can just lead you into, in particular, they'll lead you into the past. And I'm not saying it's bad to go in the past or look at the past, but it can just go deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper, where you don't really get an answer. And it could almost end up being like victimization and self-punishment, like, why is this happening to me? Why me? Why questions? What questions are usually, again, this is not a hard and fast rule, but what questions are usually more empowering? When you say, what is the gift in this? What is the lesson? What is it that I have to learn from this? Whatever it is that happens. Because see, the mind is an interesting thing. When we ask ourselves questions, we will come up with answers. And those answers can become beliefs, right? You can say, oh, I have the answer. Look, here's the answer. Well, why me? Why did this happen to me? Well, it happens to me because nobody loves me, or because I'm not important. We come up with these answers. But when we ask the questions like, what is the gift in this? Even for the things that seem tough, like, why would I ask that question? What is the gift? What is the gift in this happening? You don't necessarily come up with the answer right away, but you will come up with an answer if you sincerely ask that question. You're asking yourself or the universe or whatever, what's the gift? What's the lesson? What is it that I had to learn in this? What quality is trying to emerge within me in going through this challenge? You will come up with an answer. And that answer from those questions will be empowering. Most of the time. Does that make sense to everybody? I just wanted to cover that real quick. What can I learn? What's the gift? What's the gift is a very powerful question. I'll give you an example. For myself, I got a ticket the other day. And so I had to practice what I preach and practice what I teach. So there I am, I'm getting a ticket. I didn't have my registration, and I didn't have my insurance. Neither one of them. I didn't have neither one of them in the car with me. However, I did have my registration, but I just didn't have it in the car. And I did have my insurance. No, I'm sorry, I didn't have my registration. I didn't renew it. It wasn't renewed. And then I didn't have my insurance card. But I did have that, it just wasn't in the car. And so, the reaction is like, oh, your mind can almost want to say, or my mind's like, well, why me? Why is this happening to me? Why? But then I had to stop. Sometimes you just got to that's why it's an easy way to kind of remember. Because if you just catch yourself saying why, just stop, take a breath, and say what. It's a way to just keep it really simple, rather than all this story around it. If you just hear yourself saying why, say what. And I had to do that with myself. And then I said, what is the gift in this? What is the lesson that I'm learning in this? And right away, it doesn't necessarily come right away for those challenging things. It's like, but you got to be sincere in asking. And if you sincerely ask, you'll get a sincere answer from yourself, really. And so the answer that I got was awareness. The gift is for me to be more aware, to pay attention to other things in my life. Because sometimes I can tend to get tunnel vision, and I'll just, this is what I'm doing. I'm teaching this class, and it's all that I'm doing. And then I'm not aware of my surroundings. just renewing my registration. It's on the back of my car. I look at it every day. I see my car when I get in it. If I just looked at the car and I saw the sticker, I would see that my registration expired, right? So that's what the gift was. That was the lesson. To just be more aware, to pay attention.